Hey, we have David Heller joining us today. David Heller is the Vice President of Government Affairs at the Truckload Carriers Association. Hey, David, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I wish I had my glasses that I could take off.
Yeah. Hey, it's a skill set. We're in training right now to get that correct emphasis every time, right? To get it going. How you doing, David? Man, I really enjoyed the pre-interview with you. Man, you talk about energy, pumped up. You know what, David? I'm excited that you're here. I'm very glad that you're here. Hey, I think it's important that everybody understands what the Vice President of Government Affairs for TCA does, and let us know who you are and what it is you actually do.
As Vice President of TCA, we represent a trade association whose sole focus is the truckload segment of the industry. So it's that long-haul trucker and large carriers, small carriers, all alike. We have members that range from fleets the size of 10 trucks to fleets the size of 30,000 trucks. So it's my responsibility to understand anything and everything, rules, regulations that are coming out of Congress, that are flowing through FMCSA or the agencies, and communicate those things to industry, as well as communicate industry's opinion to Congress and the agencies. So it's a jack of all trades, master of none, and keeps me busy almost on a daily basis. No 2 days are the same ever.
Man, I could imagine Drive Safe Day. We will be at the TCA in Vegas the 19th through the 22nd as well. We'll be there as BCB Live, and our trucking company will also make its presence there again. We're excited, and when it comes to this year's TCA, it is what we're saying, we believe is the largest attendance in 15 plus years. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Attendance has gone through the roof, certainly the largest attendance in 15 years. I think we're quickly approaching, if we haven't already, surpassed 1,500 attendees, which is monstrous for this event. And it's Vegas in March. Where can you go wrong, right?
You know what? I was saying
if you always bet on black, you might.
What a great marketing technique to also tie it into the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. That probably didn't hurt anything, right? I can go to Vegas now.
So do us a favor. Tell us the reason for the conference and why all these people are coming together for the TCA out there in Vegas.
Well, first and foremost, it's a great opportunity to reconnect with some of your associates or relationships that you've had throughout the years. We've been through COVID. We went to Vegas in September, which was almost a precursor to this meeting, but we can talk about the issues that really matter, the issues that you're talking about on your show, to fleets that matter to fleets and drivers alike, and talk about some best practices, share some opinions, reconnect with old friends. Also, it allows our motor carriers the chance to expose themselves to industry technology. Technology is coming at this industry by leaps and bounds. So it gets to a point where they have to know anything and everything that will help improve the performance of their fleets, whether it's safety performance, operational efficiency, productivity. All of these opportunities are going on in the industry, and this is that chance for carriers to understand and connect with what is really going on.
Yeah, for sure. And from being at some of the meetings in past, let me tell you, it really is. If you're looking for a home, if you want to join the TCA, we're going to encourage you to go to their website as well. It is well worth it to connect with everybody in the trucking industry. And one thing we love about these conventions, and I do think it's one of the probably the coolest thing in trucking, is that we're really not afraid to share information on best practices. The only thing we really won't share are drivers. That's the only thing we really kind of hold tight to, right?
Yeah, we don't want you to have any of our drivers. But it's pretty interesting. But what are some of the exciting things different this year as opposed to maybe in the years past? What are you excited about most this year besides the 1,500 participants? What else are you excited about?
Well, Vegas. No, I'm just kidding. Vegas with March Madness, but my bracket's probably already going to be blown the second I show up. But I think I'm most excited about the fact that our policy committee meetings will all stand alone, meaning there will be nothing that interferes with them, no educational sessions. So our regulatory policy committee, our image and recognition policy committee, our image and communication policy committee, recruitment and retention, membership, they're all stand alone, which means we're going to get more membership interaction on the policies and issues that really matter to TCA, and we can streamline and better focus on ourselves with membership input that drives the policies of the association. So That's one of the things I'm most excited about. You know, anything and everything being involved in TCA, that's what I do on a daily basis. So getting the opinion of membership certainly drives that. We'll have some trucking in the round sessions where there are open discussion, open forums, if you will, where conversation and communication is encouraged. You said it yourself earlier, there's really no secrets in this industry. We protect the drivers because that's, you know, obviously everybody's sacred ground. But at the same point, there are no secrets in safety, productivity improvements, things that help this industry move along and deliver freight in an environment which, quite frankly, we're the most important thing out there. We're delivering anything and everything that households use on a daily basis. The professional truck driver is essential. There will be a focus on that and just moving the needle on what the truckload industry has to deliver.
Hey, we have 3 keynote speakers for this for the TCA as well. We have Ben Carson, we have Chris Tarble, and Hector Monsecker. So we have a politician / doctor, right?
Yep.
Then we have a FBI dude up there that's probably the most well known. Then over here we have like a hacker. You know, what a great group of people to have up there on the as our keynote speakers. Drive safe. I know you're going to be probably most interested in the hacker.
Yeah, I'm going to be definitely interested in the hacker. And I'll tell you, I was thinking about it this year. How much more, and we're a big proponent of safety. That's what we do here. How much more involved is safety than ever before at these type of conventions in their cell, and they're coming out with the information. You know, you mentioned the technology, but how much more is it about safety than ever before?
There's no doubt about it. If operations and productivity is number one, safety is issues 1A, right? It's tied right at the top, and it continues to be paramount. You know, we as an industry are diving into a world of new technology that hasn't been around very long. 5, maybe the last 10 years at most. So, and we operated literally for decades without the type of technology we're operating under today. So technology and inevitably their enhancements are continually improving this industry. So safety becomes super paramount, to say the very least. You know, you're talking about data points that you may never have been exposed to, best practices on how you can improve that safety operation. Remember, delivering freight from point A to point B and doing so safely is the mantra of the industry. It doesn't work if there's an accident, so you have to get involved in it. And say nothing to the fact, where, I'm sure you guys talk about equipment availability and things like that, and downtime. Maintenance is another key aspect of the safety practice, and certainly plays into that role, because you can't do anything if you have trucks are down. So safety is paramount. Protecting your drivers, making sure your drivers get back to their family, all highlight the practices and how it's more important than ever before. And in saying that, you've got technology like camera technology, telematics, the ELD that came to this industry, and the data points that they're generating certainly highlight what this industry has become about.
Yeah, when we think about all the technology, so much of it really does try to focus on 2 things, safety and productivity. When it comes to that productivity side, one thing that we do know, and we've been talking about it now for years, but it's right up top, is the truck parking. What are you seeing with the truck parking as far as Congress and everything?
Well, Congressman Boss had issued a bill about 1.5 years ago, and it was a great bill. TCA supported it. We were actively lobbying it on the Hill, and lo and behold, it didn't make it into the infrastructure. So it's kind of like we're playing catch up at this point. I was down on the Hill last week, actually talking about truck parking, as that they passed the appropriations bill, which opens up some of that funding toward the states to get some of this discretionary funding put in place to fix some of these problems. Truck parking is that number one issue that affects drivers out there on the road today. It's not salary. It is the availability of safe and secure truck parking. Right now, we're looking at an industry that has 1 parking spot for every 11 drivers. 98% have said they face problems finding secure and safe truck parking. So at the same point, here's an industry that we have dramatic improvements to make when it comes to safely parking our trucks. Now, the BOSS bill had $775 million attributed over 5 years to create new spaces. And that becomes an issue because you talk safety, some of these drivers are operating out of compliance just to effectively find a place for their trucks. 56 minutes of every day, I think it is, they're losing to searching that, which equates to about $5,500 in direct salary that they're losing because they're searching for truck parking, not advancing the load. And this is that opportunity where we as a nation have to come together and support our industry and our drivers, because they are essential and they're delivering that freight. And we have to find sound solutions for them to do it. So last week we were talking about taking some of that, getting the states to take some of that discretionary funding, put it towards more spots, along the heavily traveled freight corridors, not places out where nobody goes, places where the freight is. And that becomes the big thing. Somebody once told me you got to fish where the fish are. Same thing with truck parking. If there's not enough parking spaces where the trucks are going, then it's useless at that point. So we certainly have to make dramatic inroads. Now, is this going to get done? Certainly it's going to be left up to the states to improve their state-funded truck parking spaces. At the same point, we do have a private sector that focuses on truck parking. I know they're dedicated towards making improvements on this. And then inevitably finding spaces along those freight corridors that can park that truck. So that becomes the biggest issue. I had a call with the White House about a week ago where they talked about integrating more women into the industry. Roughly, we're 10% women, 8 to 10% women, female drivers out there. And in doing so, we have to create better and safer and more secure truck parking for people to focus, not just women, but drivers as a whole. That becomes that issue of this has nothing but plus to it. And it actually makes the industry, makes the driving profession better when they have services at their disposal to take advantage of when they're driving on the road and complying with their hours of service rate.
David, do you believe that the most difficult hurdle that the biggest challenge that you have is it educating the politicians or educating the Hill about the issues that we have about what truck parking truly means to the industry? Because honestly, I'm not even sure that they fully grasp that a parking space is that big of a deal.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. And it's trying to get them to see the light that just one simple issue of truck parking can affect the whole supply chain. And it's educating them. And then obviously another hurdle is the very fact that nothing ever gets done alone. Like, you can get a great bill out there like truck parking, and it doesn't fly by itself. It has to get attached to something larger. So when you think of something larger, you think Omni-type bills like infrastructure that just got done, appropriations that just got done. And of course, those ships have sailed. So at this point in time, you've got a great bill that had languished out there, would have to get reintroduced, but it's not going to go anywhere because it can't get attached to something new. So Congress has effectively stalled because of the fact that they're not debating single issues anymore. They're getting tied up in the whole Omni-type discussions, and that becomes the biggest issue right now going. So it's educating and then getting something that matters to really move are probably the biggest.
Hey, Dave, we lean on folks like you, on organizations such as yours to go out there and fight Congress and represent us. But what can we, the independent contractor, the trucking company, what can we do to help you to create more success for you? Is it writing our state representative, doing something outside of just paying our dues?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. A vocal member is a great member. Debate is good. Get your voice to be heard, whether it's at the state level, the federal level. Get involved with your state trucking associations, your federal entities. This is the opportunity for trucking to stand up and hold its ground and voice its opinion on the issues that really matter. If you look at the infrastructure bill and the insistence of getting highways and roadways improved, bridges rebuilt, that becomes the biggest issue. This is the office space for the professional truck driver. So if you don't stand up and hold your voice, you're just going to be left getting what you might not had a decision in getting in the first place. So, every member that gets involved, every member that steps up, we have our Call on Washington that will be in September, where we'll go down on Capitol Hill and make a day of seeing hundreds of congressmen and women, senators, and talk about the issues that matter to trucking. That's what's important, so that our voice can be heard. Come into town, I'll walk the hill with you. It's a great day. We can do that. And I can do that anytime. Happy to do it. But yeah, make a chance, take that opportunity and have your voice heard. It's not just paying dues, it's getting involved.
I can't wait for us to come together in Vegas. You are coming on the show in Vegas. We've got a lot to talk about. I can't wait to see you when we get there and bring you on the show and talk a little bit more about trucking and what we can do to make trucking better for everybody. Man, I'm really excited about the opportunity to see you in Vegas.
Hey, we want to thank you, Dave. Thanks a ton for being on the show. We do ask this from everybody, and we're going to do it again in Vegas, but we need you to say your name, who you're with, so from the TCA, and you're listening to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you in Vegas.
All right, thanks.
He got out. David, you're not getting out of this. Hold on. Don't let him go.
You got to say.
You got to say it. You got to say, I'm David Heller with the TCA, and you're listening to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
I'm David Heller with TCA, and you're listening to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
There you
Bam!
go. All right. We'll see you in Las
Appreciate
Vegas.
you, buddy. All
You got
right,
it.
drive safe day. He thought he's going to get out of there.
Yeah, I know. I thought he was gonna. I thought, what?
No,
That's
no.
not gonna fly.